Eric's,
Thank you for recording.
right, we have time for Phil's, Beth?
Go ahead. Wait,
We
Phil,
have
I'm
time
sorry,
for
Phil.
Phil's,
Sorry, in
we
time
have
for
time for
Phil.
his speech? Yeah,
Is Eric doing the longer one?
yeah. I think he's in the car. You're gonna do one from the car, the long one, Eric?
I gotta get myself set up, but I know we
Oh,
got
okay, you'll have
announcements
time.
and stuff. If Kay wants to open the meeting because of the announcements for club officers,
Okay,
do that.
all
Sure.
right, but we do have time for Phil is my main question. Beth, yeah.
We started recording. It's 7 o'clock. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, David. And I'm still in my jacket. I didn't even take my jacket off. It's good to see so many smiling faces here in person. We have a guest in the house, so I'll invite, or just say hi, Dave, again. Is it Dave or David? Dave. All right. So many Davids. It's amazing. We have mics. We have 4 mics. I think that the Davids have caught up to the mics. So there's a race. Okay. Is Gerald in the house? I know that he has an announcement, but I don't see him on Zoom. Anybody? No, Gerald. Okay. All right. And then David. Well, we'll get started, I think, with the invocation and the pledge, and then I'll hand it over to David Jones, and then Nancy has a presentation early on, and there is a lot going on in this room right now. Who is our inspiration?
I am.
All right, Sylvia, thank you for taking on that role. And Sylvia, our inspiration, and then be ready for the pledge, folks.
Morning. It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. With realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world. Let's start building today. Amen.
Thank you, Sylvia. And the pledge, everyone please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That would be great. Oh. Okay. Dave, are you ready to take over?
I am, but did you want to do your announcements first, or you want to take off your jacket? And did we want Nancy to go first? Too, second.
If Nancy is ready to go, then we're happy to do that, and I appreciate that very much.
Okay.
I am super excited today to be welcoming officially our 3 newest members. We have inductions today. We're going to do that early on in the meeting now for Mary Cavanero and Marshall Sang and David Channon. We're very excited, and Nancy will be leading that. Nancy, come on up.
Madam President. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. It's now our duty and privilege to induct 3 new members into the AM Lockport Club. This news is an important occasion, both for these new members and for our club. These individuals have come to Toastmasters seeking to improve their communication, leadership skills, and we now have the opportunity to help them grow and achieve their goals. I will now call our new members. Please withhold applause until the ceremony is complete. Mary Cavanero, please join us up here, or join me. I'm the only one up here. This side would be good. And David Channon. And Marshall will be highlighted on our, he's highlighted. All right. That's right. Yep. David. David, you just David Channon. David, you could come over here. Okay. All right. Yeah. give us, yeah, there we go. Now I look really short. And Marshall Song, who is joining us from China on Zoom. As Vice President of Education, I have the pleasure of officially welcoming Marshall, Mary, and David to join a worldwide organization that has helped millions of people to learn to communicate more effectively. As members of AM Lockport Club, Toastmasters Club, we will benefit from a proven program of self-development. You will become part of an outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in spirit of sharing and enjoyment. These new members have been given an opportunity to discuss their needs and goals with the club. They have been introduced to and will continue to be guided along their journey about how the Toastmaster program works, informed of the many benefits they will receive, as well as the obligations of membership. Each new member has been assigned a mentor. Mary Cavanero, Larry McKenzie will be your mentor with guidance from others in the group. David Channon, Marty Johnston, and guidance of others in the group. Marshall Song, Kate Orr, and with guidance of others in the group. As experienced Toastmasters, you have been asked to help these new members get off to a good start. Do you accept this responsibility and pledge to share your knowledge, your experience with your new members so that they can immediately begin to benefit from the Toastmasters membership? Please respond. We do. That was mentors. That was mentors. I said members. I meant mentors. That's right. That's right. Membership in this club and in Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards. In the presence of your fellow Toastmasters, we ask you, our new members, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth, to share with this great gift with your future members, to help keep this Toastmasters Club strong and dynamic, to attend meetings regularly, prepare fully for each assignment, to apply yourselves to the project outlined in the Toastmasters educational program, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner, to build open, friendly relationships with your fellow Toastmasters, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters. Please respond, we do. Would our club members please repeat our club pledge? And you should have it in front of you if you don't share with somebody next to you. We, the members of AM Lockport Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to develop helpful evaluations, to maintain friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you opportunities to others, and to make our Toastmaster membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Now. And he's clapping too. That's right. I'm going to give you each, and we will mail you one if a Toastmasters wears many hats. Just give you a little bit of an introduction to Toastmasters. And I believe that the next week's coming, you will be presented with either a name badge or a certificate or both. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much, and thank you, Nancy. And did Gerald step on since we've done our inductions? Okay.
No.
We're so excited to have all of you on board. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will now hand the meeting over to our Toastmaster of the day, David Jones, ringing in from North Carolina or somewhere. He'll
Yeah.
tell us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster and guest day number 4. I am coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is the reason I kind of came up with the theme, Declutter Your Life. Some of you may know that in December, my mother had a stroke. She's in a wheelchair, and we had to put her in assisted living. And when I say we, I mean me, because I'm an only child. And I had to sell the house. She has a townhouse that she couldn't get upstairs to the bedroom. So the house is sold. It closes Monday. So I'm here again cleaning her house for the sale. And so often we think so many things that we have in our house is important. We need this, we need that. There's a running joke that men always have a piece of wood out in the garage that they might use someday. But I found that my mother and my stepfather, who also passed away last year, they kept every single thing. They have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it's literally taken me over a month, coming back and forth to clean out all their stuff. And what they found as important ended up at Goodwill or in the landfill. We had 3 truckloads, the 1-800 call junk, come and pick up junk from their house, just kept throwing things away. And my daughter asked me to promise that I would never do that to her, that I would not have so much junk that it would take her a month to clean out my house. So I personally have been cluttering my house, just thinking way ahead. And if I see something and I haven't used it or touched it in over a year, either sell it or just get rid of it, because there's no reason to have something like that sitting in my house. So if anybody has suggestions throughout this morning about decluttering our lives, I'd love to hear from it. But first, I want to do a toast because we are Toastmasters, and I want to toast our 3 new members. And everything that Nancy said is my toast. So congratulations to the 3 of them, and to also AM Lockport for getting new members. Cheers. And I do like traditions, and unfortunately, I see somebody who's missing a tradition, and that is our WAG master, Margot. I used to love when she'd wear her tiara, but I guess the tiara went bye-bye. So, Margot, do you want to tell us about your role as WAG master?
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I consider getting my tiara. Last night, however, was Lions meeting, and it's really tough for me to get going after a Lions board meeting because I have tons of things on my desk to do. In any case, I have a triple role this morning, as you know, and I've already been making a few notes about some of the things I've heard. In any case, the word of the day is hodgepodge. We all have that drawer in our kitchen that is a hodgepodge. It's a mess. We have our shelves that are just full of books that are falling off. It's a hodgepodge. So it is a heterogeneous mixture or a jumble. In addition, I'll be looking for the ahs and ums, and I will also be listening for everybody's favorite job for me, the grammatical errors and the wonderful turns of phrases that we use. And I will report when called upon to do so. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Margot. And I don't know if she's in person. I saw Anne Marie, I think, on Zoom a little bit ago. She might have dropped off. Is she there? She's our quote master. Going once, twice. We will skip the quote master since we are on a tight time schedule. How about our jester, Mary? I definitely know she's there because she was just inducted. Mary, you want to give us a jest?
Long enough for me?
Yep, stand right, yep, to the side. Well, maybe hold it up a little. You're taller than me.
This?
Yep.
Good moms have sticky floors, messy kitchens, dirty laundry piles, and dirty ovens and happy kids.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. Yes, and as Margot mentioned, some of us have a hodgepodge drawer. My mom had a hodgepodge house. It was also my dad. I also had to put my dad in assisted living in North Carolina last year, and he had a mini storage up in Boone, North Carolina, that he'd had for like 10 years. That was his life. Everything in the world was in there. And last month I was tired of paying his storage fees, so I got everything, put it in my garage so I could go through it. And once again, it was almost all junk. It was just stuff I threw away or took to Goodwill. And it was something he thought so important that he was paying almost $1,000 a year for over 10 years to keep in storage. And it's just junk, except he does have thousands of Pez's. He was a Pez collector from the 80s, so I'm going through them slowly. I'm sure they're worth some money. He also had some Godzilla toys from the 70s that I've sold on eBay from anywhere from $100 to $200 because Godzilla movie's out and there are like new toys and packages. Other than that, toys and candy, everything else my dad had was hodgepodge of nothing. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce my general evaluator, Marty. Marty, do you want to come up and tell us about your role as general evaluator? And don't forget to use the word of the
Morning,
day.
David, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome, guests. One way I've learned to get rid of a hodgepodge and especially things like junk mail, I'll put a plastic bag or a box right near my front door. So every day when I get mail, if it's something that I know that I don't need, or I know it's junk or that I don't want, I just put it in there. And then when recycling day comes, I just dump the whole bag or the whole box right in. That's one way I try to declutter my life and reduce any hodgepodge mixtures that might be floating around in the home. As general evaluator, I will be evaluating David, our Toastmaster of the day, and our evaluators, and I'll report at the end of the meeting. And if you'd like me to call for reports, I can do that. Just let me know. Thank you.
Yes, I will. Okay, I'll have you do that. Thank you, Marty. And speaking of decluttering and hodgepodge stuff, he was just talking about junk mail that we get. And I saw a post on Facebook. It was people started commenting on it. And what this lady does is every time she gets junk mail and it has a return envelope prepaid, she'll tear up the junk mail, put it in the envelope, mail it back. That supports the post office because they're getting the postage, and it's kind of discouraging the junk mail people from sending stuff out to us. I mentioned I have done this before. It's been a while, but I would actually take the prepaid envelope of junk mail, put it on a priority mail envelope, and send it back to them just to give the post office a little more money so we can kind of fight back that way. Next up is going to be the person that keeps us on time. It's our Dave number 3, and he will come up and talk about the timer. And I'm assuming since both our speakers are on Zoom, Lynn will do our color coding in the background as well. I think I saw. There you go. Huh?
I'll be assisting David Shannon on
Okay.
the in-person timing. And
Okay.
we'll time for the benefit of our newest members and guests. Reminder, most speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, but we have a spectacular show from Eric today. And so it will be longer. And I don't know what was decided on another speech. We're having another speech also. Great. So typically the green light would go on at 5, the yellow light at 6, and the red light at 7. Table topics, more importantly. So whoever's table topics master, please introduce that time again. And evaluators will do 2 to 3 minutes, but I'll show you, David, and someone online, I'm sure will echo that, probably Len. Awesome, or Larry. Oh, geez, sorry, Len. Okay, thank you, Dave, and everybody.
All right. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. And even though it's the wrong colors, I see Waldo in the background, our quiz master, Joe Bugnick. If you want to come up and tell us about your role. I just see the striped shirts. That's why I thought it was Waldo hiding back there.
Good morning. I will be testing everyone's skill with trivia today, with questions that you can think of to answer. And congratulations to all our newest members. Hodgepodge. It reminds me of a children's show that used to be on during the 1970s. It was called Hodgepodge Lodge. Right. The sweet lady, I forgot what her name was. She'd be in her cabin with a bunch of children, and she'd introduce all these exotic animals to these kids, and they'd learn about it. It was pretty cool. I used to watch it after school during the 1970s. So best of luck to all our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. And next up is going to be our table topics portion. And that's going to be run by Tracy. And Tracy, based on your background, looks like you have a very decluttered life, organized. You want to give us some tips if you have any, and tell us about table topics.
Thank you, David. There'd be a lot of people that would disagree with you about being organized. However, we do have table topics today. I'm going to pick 3 people. The timing is 1.5 to 2 minutes. And I'm going to start with Sylvia Baptiste. Are you in the room?
I'm here, Tracy.
All right. So my question for you is, do you have any sentimental items laying around your house that you could just never part with? Even though you know it's just cluttering everything up, you still have to keep it. And don't forget to use the word of the day, hodgepodge.
Yes, I do. And I'm so happy you asked me this question this morning because I was thinking before table topics started about all the items I have, the hodgepodge collections my husband has of baseball things, and he keeps buying more and more and more. I don't know why. But I would like to talk about I grabbed this lovely little pig. And this is very sentimental right now. Over 30 years ago, well, I take it back. Yeah, about 30 years ago, I had my sister-in-law make this pig for my aunt because she always wanted a pot-belly pig. And I always said, I'm going to get her a real one, but that didn't happen. So we went to ceramics. And my sister-in-law made this pig, and I bought it from her and gave it to my aunt. And this started my aunt's collection. This past January, she passed away at 86, and she had over 200 pigs. People started buying her pigs, magnetic ones to put on her refrigerator, more ceramic ones like I have, stuffed ones. So when she passed away, I asked her son, I said, can I have the pig I had made for her to start her collection? And he didn't know anything about it. He goes, that's how that started. He couldn't believe it was just this little ceramic pig that started this 200 pig collection. He tossed them all. He goes, you sure you don't want the whole 200? And I said, no, I just want the one that started the collection for memories. And he said, take it, go ahead. He goes, but you can have the whole 200. And I gladly did not take the 200. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Carol Ann, I have a question for you. Have you ever rented, wait till you get up to the front. So Carol Ann, you heard the first part. I'm sure you know where this is going but have you ever rented a self-storage unit? And if not, do you think that they just contribute to people's clutter, sort of like what David's thinking? Or do you think it helps them organize their life? And there's no judgments here. Carol Ann.
I have never rented a storage unit, although I could fill a few. My initials are CH, which stand for clutter and hodgepodge. I have trouble. I know my parents were always just collectors and didn't really get rid of things. And I know my mom a lot of times wanted to clean out, clean the desk, clean some drawers. And my father's line was always, now don't throw away anything valuable. He was always worried, as if, she wouldn't look at what she had. Actually, right now I am in a mode to try to get rid of clothes that don't fit and I've actually put down some goals recently, like clean 3 drawers out a week and things like that. Well, I've gone the first week and I'm 3 drawers behind already. But, and my husband is a saver too. He farms. It's always farmed part of the time. So any leftover screw or any little item, a tool or something, well, you never know. I might need it. And occasionally he's needed something, and that's the one thing he didn't save. But so right now I am in a mode of trying to declutter, because it just makes your life feel more at peace. And one of my daughters just moved out recently, built a house, and unfortunately she hasn't taken all her stuff out of our house yet. Madam Table Topics.
Thank you, Carolyn. Marshall, are you still online?
Yeah, I'm online.
All right, so I have the perfect question for you called decluttering your mind. Are there any activities that you like to help you relax or to declutter your mind, such as maybe meditation, running, exercise, and how do you feel afterwards? Marshall.
Okay, thank you. That's a wonderful question. So in China, a lot of Chinese people work very hard. Like me, I get up from 6:30 a.m. and work to sometimes to 1 a.m. So how make I feel relaxed? Recently, I think enough sleep is extremely important. When I was young, I would always have overtime. I put everything important or priority than my health. But 3 months before, I feel uncomfortable. My heart painful. I ache. So now I take my priority to my health. For every day, I sleep at least 8 hours. I found that amazing. My skin become better. I have less pimple, and I have energy to improve my efficiency of my study and working. And every day I go to gym. Now I stay gym. I work out for at least 1 hour and a half. If sometimes I feel tired, before that, I remember the Harvard University slogan, sleep now, you have a dream. And insist to work now, you will achieve your dream. But now I choose to sleep. So I hope everyone can have about 8 hours sleep every day. That will make you dynamic for all the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. And I think that's going to conclude it. Do you want me to call for time and the word of the day?
Yes, please.
Mr. Toastmaster. Okay, so our timer, can you tell us how each one of our table topics contestants did today? That's David Chan, I believe.
I am so happy to say that all 3 fulfilled the requirement. Sylvia finished at 2:05. Carol Ann finished at 2:15.
Mm.
And Marshall finished at 2:08, and they all did great. Thank you for your speeches.
Thank you, Dave.
Should I say
And-
something else?
Mm.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave. And Margot, can you tell us if everybody used the word of the day?
I was listening carefully. I'm not sure if Marshall did. I know Sylvia used it once and Carol Ann used it twice. Can we give one of Carol Ann's to Marshall?
Mr.
Oh, no,
Toastmaster?
I didn't use that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can vote for Sylvia and Carol Ann. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. I'm not sure if there is a Chinese word for hodgepodge. We'll have to have Marshall look that up and get back to us and see what that would be. Speaking of storage, that was one of your questions. I had to get I closed out my dad's self-storage, but I had to get one for my mom who still wanted some of her stuff. There's not a lot in there. And unfortunately, I've found that I lie to my mom so much because she's always asking for something. And I'm just like, it's in storage. It's just, I can't unpack it. It's way in the back. So she doesn't need anything in the storage, but to keep her happy, I just have storage of some of her stuff that she'll never touch or use. So let me just vote real quick. And then, but we're going to go ahead and jump into our speeches because I know even though we're doing good on time, we do have a longer speech. And first up is going to be Philip with unleaded gas, Russell, and he's going to be evaluated by Beth Banks. Beth, do you have his information? Do you want to introduce him for us? Or that was a look of confusion, so maybe not.
David, could you introduce me because I have nothing?
Okay, I will.
Sorry.
Well, that's all right. Phil is working from Innovative Planning, Level 1, Option 1, Introduction into Vocal Variety and Body Language, 5 to 7 minutes, Mr. Timer. And he's combining 2 old topics into 1 new project via an old pathway. And he's revitalizing 2 old projects into 2 revitalized new projects. And the title of his speech is What is Next? What is Next? Bill Russell.
What's next? What's next? What is next? My life is a hodgepodge, but I love it. Having more fun, doing more things. It's wonderful. But what is next? My project is to build up membership, number 1, and to advertise Toastmasters to get more interest in it. So what's next? Why radio? Why television? Give it some thought. What is next? All right, let's talk about that. Why TV? Why television? I'll tell you why. First off, it's free. It is free. Public television in Lockport is free. We've done it before. In fact, one of our members, Jackie, is working in her profession on TV. We've done it before. We've had mock meetings. We've had just people getting on there talking about television. It's free. We can do it. They want programming. They love us. Who's willing to get back into TV? It's fun. We tape it. They put it on. Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Who cares? It gets our name out there. It gets us practice working in the field of entertainment and television and presentations, just what Toastmasters is all about. Why radio? Whoa. Why radio? Well, one reason not to is it costs $300. $300 in advertisement. But you reach a population that you don't reach through television. I've been on the radio a number of times. We have members that do radio shows that have done radio. We can do it. Now, who's willing to try and set that up? We have a member that I mentioned this to, and he said, oh, wait a minute. This will take a lot of work. Yes, because you just can't go on a radio show. If you do a remote, you're bringing the radio station to us. What that means is they would bring the show right to us, right from their studio. Eric would come out, not Eric Snyder, but Eric at the radio show. Mark would stay at the radio station and do the show. Now, this would take organization, not just from us, but from them. Everybody'd have to work it out. We'd also have to get permission from the YMCA just to do this. We want to grow. We want to be better. What better way than TV and radio? Oh, we need people that were willing to work on this project. I can't do it alone. And first off, not only can I not do it alone or just say to do it, we need board approval. So I challenge the board of directors. Think about it. Doesn't have to happen today. Doesn't have to happen in the next month. But I challenge you to think about it and to see if we have enough interest. Possible survey, possible just a meeting about it or a few minutes just to talk about it. Question. I might throw that in a speech, question and answer period. That might be a good one. But it's a board decision. Final decision is up to them because it costs $300. It also is going to take our time and energy. So what is next? To get new members to advertise Toastmasters in Lockport. Why radio? Why TV? What's next? Mr. Toastmaster.
Bill? And next up is going to be our speech from Eric, which will be evaluated by Mike Florio. Mike, are you have his credentials?
Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guest, David, welcome again. Good to have you back. Eric will be speaking from the Pathways Dynamic Leadership, number 3 elective. Connect with your audience. It's 5 to 7. I believe it's a 5 to 7 minute speech, correct? 22 minutes long. Okay. I was not aware of that. I was not aware of that change. So how long is it again? 22 minutes? All right. Well, have at it, Eric. I believe the speech title is Canisius Eco Heroines. Correct? Okay. All right, Eric, come on up. Oh, it's a. Here we go. Go ahead, Eric.
Thank you very much, Mike. Sorry about that. I should have let you know ahead of time. That was my fault. So just to get a brief rundown of what I'm going to show you, I was in a podcast just about a month or so ago, and we talked about, environmental changes we can do in the Canisius community and around Buffalo. And it was the first time I ever did a podcast. And for the timer again is 22 minutes and 21 seconds. And without any further delay, let's begin the speech.
Eric, if there's supposed to be sound, it's not sharing. Can you hear me? You restart it and just click the share sound. It's like a special option. But you have to go back to share, stop sharing the screen. And then
Okay.
when you hit share screen, there's going to be a little thing, tiny at the bottom, and it says share sound.
Oh, sorry.
Don't be. We're here to learn, everybody. I'm not going to say it's going to work, but it should work. And then once you start play, it should work.
That better?
Perfect. But if you full screen like you did, we're good to roll.
So this is Genevieve Fontana coming to you from Canisius University in Buffalo, New York, and you are listening to the Did You Know podcast. You might not know it, but we have eco-heroines around our campus working to make it sustainable for future generations. For each show, I will spotlight earth-friendly initiatives and sit down with the changemakers of our institution. Today we are spotlighting Eric Schneider, humanities major and second shift housekeeping foreman, as part of the Canisius University Facilities Management Department. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So our first question is, please introduce yourself and explain a little bit about what you do at Canisius.
Of course, my name is Eric Schneider. I am the housekeeping foreman on second shift here at Canisius. I have been with the institution for the latter half of the past 7 years, reaching 8 years in September, but who's counting? But I have worked in the cleaning business for over 10 years, since 2011, with the Lockport schools, then to the Elderwood Nursing Home, and then I came here working full time and hearing about doing classes part time. Here I took up on the opportunity of doing that, and I am happy to be part of the whole student body, because I haven't been in the classroom since 2011. So yeah. It's been a journey, I would say, and I'm happy to continuing with the classes I'm taking.
And continuing with your education.
Definitely.
How is it going back to school?
When I started back in 2021, it felt weird, because, like I said, 10 years was a long time, and when they told me they offered free tuition here as an employee of Canisius, I with the encouragement from my coworkers and on my shift, and they said, go back to school, do something. And so I was like, well, all right, let's get on the bandwagon. I made my decision back in January of 21, and here we are.
And you're learning so many new things, too.
Learning so much new things, and meeting so many great people like you, because you and I have been in classes, a couple of classes in the DMA field. It has been a fun experience.
Yeah. Are the DMA classes your favorite, or?
DMA classes are my favorite, because you're learning how to learn so much new technology, new software initiatives, like learning more on Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and using 3D graphics. And it was just amazing to learn so much of that. And like we did with motion graphics a couple years ago, and doing the Mercedes Wilson Christmas special. I think that was one of the most fun projects that we ever done in that class.
And you still continue doing interviews with her, right?
Well, I helped her out.
Specials.
Yeah,
Yes.
I helped out with this past Christmas special, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. So what does your role entail as a second shift housekeeping foreman as part of Canisius University's Facilities Management Department?
When I come into work every day, we want to make sure, me and my second shift crew, Frank Clark, Don Hamilton, and Juju Patton, we make sure that we clean this university as best as we can to meet the satisfaction of the students, the faculty and staff, and the visitors and families that want to come and see the campus, blossom. Yeah. And we do the best that we can. And we appreciate the whole student body and the staff for their support and making sure that we make sure we're doing our jobs the way we are supposed to be doing.
And it seems you take really great pride in that.
Yes, because I'm a person who wants to get the job done and, you know, leave here with a smile, making sure that we did it the way we did it.
Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate how I see all of you and I see all of your the folks on your shift, and you guys are always a part of the campus community, not just like, you know, hid away in your area,
Right.
just more part of the Canisius community, which is really important.
It is really important because, you know, Frank Clark and Don Hamilton have been here for over 20 years, and, you know, they have shown me, you know, the ropes, showing me how we need to get it done. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, doing floor care, you know, Frank Clark is the guy who knows how to get the floors looking shiny, like with stripping floors in the classrooms or in dorms. He shows me how we can like just use a stripper to strip the floors, and then we suck up and we scrub it to get the layers of wax off, and then we suck up with a wet vac, and then once we get all the nooks and crannies out of the floor and all the dirt and grime and everything, then we start putting layers of wax down, like maybe 5 coats of wax, to make it real shiny and sparkle, as I would say.
Yeah. And so how is it when you go home? Do you want to clean or you don't want to clean at all?
Well, that'll be on a weekend basis because, you know, I live alone in Lockport, and, you know, I tend to clean up to like my dad's standards, because my dad's he likes to have things clean around the house, and he is a real good person on cleaning, because he's just like, I want my house looking great. And, you know, he's, you know, between working with his job and coming home, sleeping, then, you know, goes and does cleaning and stuff. But, you know, I take a little bit from my dad, and I love him, so.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So as part of the facilities management department, what are some examples of how the department supports sustainable initiatives on campus?
Well, we, as you can see, we all have those garbage cans outside here, like the one out here in the library that has the garbage cans with the recycling section and with the garbage section. We tend to make sure that everybody's putting where it's supposed to go, because I've seen garbage in the recycling. I was like, oh, I don't want to take them out. And I feel bad that we have to take out and throw it out, because we want to put it in a recycling bin.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a headache in itself. So we I would like to see if we can take some of that out, put the garbage in the right spot, put the recycling where it is supposed to go. But we have recycling those big green recycling bins all around campus, and we, you know, make sure we switch them out when it's full and replace it with an empty one, so people can put recyclables in there too.
Yeah. So then, going off that question, can we talk about recycling accessibility on campus, and what challenges do you encounter with recycling bins?
Recycling bins, well, we when we put like books and stuff, that's a real heavy one, because when you're logging up a hill, that's going to really cause a trouble, because in the past I have my little bit of an accident when I was pushing that green big recycling bin up the ramp in Churchill. I hit a snag and fell to the ground.
Oh no!
And it was all right. It was all right. It was my fault, because I was like putting the books like halfway, almost to full, and then all of a sudden I went down. But the moral of the story is, don't put books in the recycling bin, because that would be too heavy for me, especially with my bad back and everything. But we want to make sure that we are putting, we're making sure we are putting recyclables in where they're supposed to be going. And for like shredded stuff, we can't put shredded stuff in recycling because that with waste management it will clog up their system. Yeah. So we have to throw the shredded stuff out in garbage.
Oh, okay.
And for pizza boxes, like pizza boxes are not recyclable, we have to throw them out in regular trash.
So then for the shredding and the pizza boxes, do you recommend something separate, or do you think that that's not
That'd be great if we have a separate
practical?
Yeah, it was like separate, like for pizza boxes and too.
Yeah.
Because I don't see much more of the recycling bins like that around. So.
And then when there's like the bottles and cans in the garbage can, do you have to throw them out?
I throw them out because it's mixed in with the garbage and everything.
Gotcha. Well, so maybe we can work on that because I've seen different places and campuses have like separated garbage where it's like paper and cans and stuff, and it sounds like it would make it easier on you and your crew too.
Yeah.
So how do you think we should address recycling contamination and getting more students to recycle on campus?
Can you rephrase that question?
Sure. So how do you think we should address recycling contamination and getting more students to recycle on campus? So like putting the, so when there's like cans and bottles in the garbage.
Yeah.
How do you think we should address getting more students to recycle? And maybe like our solution can be what we said with the different bins with different, you know, because you said you can't put the paper shred in the recycling as well.
Right. We just throw them out in the big dumpster, like say right here on U Street, we throw them out in the dumpster.
Yeah.
We have signs in the in Haran O'Donnell, like don't throw this stuff in the garbage and stuff like that. I think that we need to be more aware of what we throw out in the garbage and when we toss stuff in recycling. I think we should be more aware of that because that's a problem. I think it's a problem everywhere, not just here, but everywhere.
Yeah.
That people are mixing things up with, what goes in the garbage and what does not go in the garbage, or what recycling needs to go in where.
Definitely, yeah. And then maybe another rephrasing of that question is like, how do you think we can get more students to recycle?
I know we have a sustainability club here on campus. I think that we should sit down and have a conversation about how we can make sure we can throw stuff out, what we need to throw out, what we don't need to throw out, and so it doesn't get contaminated with other stuff in there.
Yeah, definitely. So as a student, do you think that sustainability and earth-friendly choices are stressed on our campus?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to focus on how we need to, because I have done some projects with cleaning up around the city. I'm from Lockport, and I've done a project with my Toastmasters club. I'll give a little bit of a background on Toastmasters. Toastmasters International is a worldwide organization of based on public speaking. And I've been with my club of AM Lockport Toastmasters for 8 years. And back in 2020, when the pandemic was about to hit center stream, I did a project out of the old legacy path of doing a project of cleaning up Lockport. So after our Toastmasters meetings, we had supplies of gloves, garbage bags, and we went around Lockport along the Erie Canal, and me and my friend Kate Orr, Marty Johnston, and Samir Rahman, we went to pick up garbage around the Lake Erie, around the locks, and over at Idafis Park, which is down the street from where we were having our meetings, and we just picked up garbage and make it, and then just throw it out in the dumpster. Because we want to make our city look clean
Yeah.
and efficient, because just seeing like garbage in the water and all around on public parks and areas, it saddens me, because that's not who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be earth friendly. We want to go green, you know, and just doing that project made me feel very good.
Yeah.
And like with my friend Kay, she brought that idea up, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you would encourage other organizations and clubs to do the same.
Oh yes, I highly recommend that all clubs and organizations should, you know, have a day of walking around their city, pick up garbage, you know, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
And because it makes you feel good about yourself of going and saving the planet.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Kathy O'Keefe, she has done stuff with picking up garbage around the city of Lockport, and we were down by I think it was like around I think Route 78 in Lockport, and we were along the road, and there was a lot of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent like almost the entire morning, afternoon picking up garbage along the road, and it was a lot. And I mean, it was a lot of garbage. It was a cold March day, but it was well worth it, because it was so disgusting to see so many garbage lying around in that type of environment.
I know when I drive here from home, off of 33, there's a lot of garbage right there on the sidewalk too. So.
Yeah, that's it makes you feel a little bit sick to your stomach just seeing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I give my hats off to, like, here on campus, like the Elbers.
Mm-hmm.
They've been picking up garbage and stuff, and they've been doing our landscaping and stuff too. My hat's off to them. They're doing what they need to do and making this campus look great.
Mm-hmm.
Because spring's coming, and in a couple of weeks.
I hope so.
Knock on wood, right? But no, just seeing people getting involved with this is really extraordinary.
Yeah, definitely. And what eco-friendly practices do you implement at your home and as part of your lifestyle?
Well, when I am at home, I have a bag on my door, a paper bag, and I put recycling stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then once it gets full, I take it out. We have big recycling. We have big bins. The 2 yellow bins with the lid, those are for recycling.
Got it.
And the blue ones are for garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to make sure I put it in those. But like I do is every time I have recycling, I have a paper bag on the door and put the stuff in the bag so I can take it out.
That's great. And so we understand that sustainability is a journey. What's one change you aim to make in your life for the environment?
What I think we should all do is, instead of driving everywhere, here, there, and everywhere, I think all of us should go for a walk.
Yeah.
On a beautiful day, we all should walk. You know, I live close by to Day Road Park in Lockport, and I have gone there and, you know, did some running because I used to be a cross-country runner, long-distance runner.
Me too.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fun, though? Exhausting.
I'm not a runner anymore, but...
Yeah. I've done, like, over 25K races. I did 6-mile races, 4 6-mile races before in the turkey trot before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I just did 2 5Ks last year, and it was weird being back into that because I haven't done a 5K since COVID hit. And but I think that, in all seriousness, I think that we all should, you know, go for a walk, maybe start like a walking club, and just everybody just go for a walk. Leave your car at home, or drive your car and park over there, or if you live close by to a park, just walk.
Yeah. Yeah, we live so close to a park here.
Yeah, we got Hamlin Park, you got Delaware Park,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
People should take more advantage of the area in which we live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, instead of driving, save your gas, go for a walk.
And what is your vision for sustainability on our campus?
I think that we should use the, I've been seeing like people how stuff was made from recycling products.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we should also use that, because using stuff that was made from recycled products helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we should continue using that as a go-to resource.
Yes.
And I think we should, like, you know, like, see, like, not a lot of trees we see around here in Buffalo. I think we should plant more trees.
Yeah.
And you know, plant more plants, bushes, anything around Buffalo, or in Buffalo, Lockport, Waynesville, Amber, anywhere. I think that we should, you know, continue making more green approaches, or green thumb, I should say.
Yeah. I know you talked about Elvers before. We did a tree planting with them before. So
Yeah.
maybe we can do something like that again.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Do you have anything you'd like to add, Eric? It was a wonderful conversation.
This was a wonderful conversation. I should say that, like I said, everybody should go out and help the environment by picking up trash, go for a run, save money on your gas,
Mm-hmm.
and just enjoy life as
Yeah.
we want to do.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Awesome.
So appreciate it.
Makes me want to dance. It's really early. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. And before you leave, Kate, by some miracle, we're doing good on time. Do you have an announcement about officers, because Gerald's not here, or is that something that he needs to do?
Thank you for bringing it up. I did not want to interrupt the flow of the meeting. I'll also give a timer's report I have in front of me. Thank you. You are right. We're still on time, but let's not delay anything. Usually by 8 a.m. we want to be into the evaluation portion of the meeting. So by 8 a.m. let's get rolling. Phil, great job at 4:43 with the buffer, and Eric pre-recorded. Okay, and what Mr. David Jones, our Toastmaster of the day, was alluding to is that we have officer elections next week, and our immediate past president, Dr. Stevens, has been working tirelessly to fill our slate. Oh, please vote also for Phil or Eric. I feel like I'm not sure about voting today. That was such a different kind of day. Go ahead and vote. So I'm presenting the slate of officers today on Dr. Stevens's behalf, since he could not make it. And we'll present the slate this week. We will vote next week because we have an open house 2 weeks from today. So then we'll already have our new officers lined up for the first week of May, which is the way it is. So we have for the slate, I'll say it out loud and then we'll make sure it is emailed to everyone also. And maybe Larry can put it into the chat for anybody who's on Zoom. We have for the incoming year, which would start July 2024 until June of 2025, the president will be Eric. Great presentation today. Vice President Education, Mike Florio. Vice President Membership, Marty Johnston. Vice President of Public Relations, Les Robinson. The Treasurer, Beth Banks. The Secretary, Carol Halstead. Sergeant at Arms, Mary Cavanero. And immediate past president, me. That is our slate. We'll again repeat it to everybody. I think that's enough from me. I want to say, because I do have to leave early for work, Eric, great job. Shout out to Earth Month. He did an amazing job. And we do have lots of Saturday cleanups. Ryan Flore, a past member, is running one on Tonawanda Creek. Let me know if you have questions. I will be at that for a hodgepodge of a day. And I have to leave, so are we good? Okay, thank you, David.
All right, thank you, Kate. All right, Marshall, are you available? I saw you were at the gym working out. I don't know if you're able to see us. All right.
I'll come
Oh, you're
back.
done? You're done? All right. I don't know if you know, Lynn kind of looked it up on the Google Translate, and then I did the same. It made sense. The word of the day was hodgepodge, which evidently is this. Oops, where'd it go? I just had it. Anyways, I had to try. I'll get it in a second, but it's called the Hui, maybe is how it goes. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's try it again.
My hearing skill not so good.
Okay.
If you don't share it on chat, maybe I don't know which word.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just letting the club know too what the word is in Chinese, so we can learn some Chinese with you as we go along our journey with you as a Toastmaster. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get us into our evaluations, and I'm going to ask, I believe it is Beth Banks to evaluate Bill Russell. Oh, and she's there, ready to go. Perfect. Thank you.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and in particular, Phil Russell. I wasn't very well prepared this morning. It's been one of those weeks, but I'll just punt, right? And I'll be fine. So, what did Phil do well? One of the things Phil always does well is he starts his speech, boom. Whether it's a question or statement, he just gives it to you. It's a big boom. You better wake up before Phil's speech, or you're going to definitely wake up when he starts. That's always good. His expressions, his gestures. One thing he does that I have trouble with on Zoom, he makes sure that he's close enough to the camera that his face is there. He's not, sometimes I'm so far back, it's like, hi guys, I'm here, back here. He's close enough to the camera to really see those expressions, but just far enough that you can also see his gestures. One thing I would ask Phil to be aware of is maybe there were a little too many times when he was pointing at us. Sometimes pointing at people can be construed as a little negative, something you are not doing. You need to do this better. So just be aware that gestures are good, pointing is good, possibly used a little less. A challenge I would give to Phil, he's a great promoter of Toastmasters. You ask for help. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to be the lead on one of the promotions for radio or TV? I think you might get someone to come and help you more if you are willing to say, I will lead this particular section. Will someone else lead this? Will you help me? I will lead the radio if I could get someone to help. That would be my challenge to you, Phil. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth. And next up with the challenging evaluation is going to be Mike Florio. Let's see what he can do.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our guests. I wasn't really sure what to expect because I didn't know. Honestly, I kind of like Beth, I wasn't really that prepared. I didn't know what was going on, but I feel like I was meant to do this for him today, okay, for Eric. I am a Canisius alumni, all right, and I took time off almost 10 years before I went back. I work for Waste Management. Some of you don't know that, in the recycling division, and I've been in the recycling division for, well, it'll be 24 years now. I've worked for Waste Management in recycling, and before that is at a paper mill. But it's not about me, this, right? It's about Eric. So Do I have 20 minutes? Oh, good. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay, we can add on. I'll use the next ones. There's only 2 evaluators, so I'll use the other ones. Anyway, when I think about Eric, I've watched him from the very beginning of when he came here to where he is now. And I'm proud of him, really. I am. I'm proud of his growth because I watched him, kind of stumble along like most of us do when we first get started. And now he sat there with someone, an educated person in Canisius, and he held his own, right? I mean, he took on every single question. And not only that, is that he put together this professional podcast, which I don't know, maybe 5% of us or less could probably put that together, and he did. And there were the little kind of like commercial breaks in there that went over the question that you saw, and who would know how to do that? But Eric knows how to do that. So he's grown so much. His smile, his poise, right? He talks about his dad with high esteem. He talks about sustainability, things that we talk about in my industry every single day. And he's already thinking about it right now. So he could be plugged into waste management just by what he's talking about right now. And he's poised enough to go over it, right? So he's learned a lot. And then he throws out after that, not really about himself, he throws out, I want to challenge you to go out there and other clubs to clean up America, right? To clean up your area. I know we do it in our Rotary Club as well. So we go out and we clean, and he's throwing that out there. What could he do to make this better? I guess, he could have tested it. We had a little stumble there. Oh, the time. But anyway, and the ahs and ums. But you know what? I mean, what a wonderful job, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mike. And can we get a timers report on our evaluators?
Thank you. Getting more responsibility as I go along here. A time report for the evaluation. Beth, they both made the grade. They didn't go over. Beth was at 239. And Mike, even though he's evaluating a speech that went 20 minutes, he kept his in time with 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So in the buffer, he made it too. Congratulations to both of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. And I think we're going to do a voting in a minute. And I just want to acknowledge, because I know Dave Licata is sitting back there grumbling because I had a biased introduction of Mike as an evaluator, and Mike talked about himself. So I will acknowledge that we both made mistakes to make Dave feel a little better. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce my general evaluator, Marty.
Morning, David. Thank you. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Most welcome guests. I'd like to start our reports with the Master and Grammarian. Margot.
All right, I am ready. You really want to start with me, not end with me, and not give everybody the chance to use the word hodgepodge one more time, huh? Anyway, our ahs and ums. Carol Ann had a few. David Jones had 2 this morning. Eric, you had a few in there, but that was a 20-minute speech. Beth had 1, and our newest Dave had 1. As far as hodgepodge, David Jones used it. Of course, our table topics contestants, Joe, Tracy, Phil, and Marty. I'm not sure I heard anybody else. And Eric, since you were recorded, you didn't really have the chance to use it. Now, I've reduced my report. Mr. Timer, please don't time me. Welp, we're gonna wanna, just gonna wanna and stuff, right, just. So please watch some of your fillers. They were very unusual today in that the you knows and the just seem to win out over the so's. I heard the phrase learn so much new things. Learn many new things. Much is a descriptor, many is an amount. Seems like, watch him stumble. When we talk about speaking, we're not watching people, we're listening, we're hearing. The four phrases that really caught my ear. I love Sylvia's 3 drawers behind. Phil's use of revitalizing, that would be a great word of the day. Eric's description of his profession as it has been a journey. We don't always think of it as a journey, but that just brought some wonderful visuals to me. And Beth construed. I loved that use of word. And while there are 2 more pages, I will stop there because otherwise we'll go over time. Mr.
Thank you. Ask someone to help get the awards at the closet. They got them under here? Oh, okay, got them. Okay. Thank you so much, Larry. Yep. Got it. Thank you very much to all our participants this morning, and Margot for your role as word master, master, grammarian. Next, I'd like to hear from our quiz master, Joe Budnick. Joe. How did we listen? Were we good listeners this morning? We'll find out.
I believe so. Well, Sylvia likes pigs. What paraphernalia does her husband like? Baseball. That's right. Carol Ann's initials are CH. What does that stand for? Very good. What healthy habit does Marshall adapt to have enough energy during the day? They're very good. Exercise and sleep. According to Phil, what's free in Lockport? That's right. And come September, how many years will that make for Eric to be working? 8. Very good. Toastmaster for 8. Well, I need to listen.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joseph. Now, moving into our evaluation portion, my general evaluation portion of the meeting, I'll start with our Toastmaster, David Jones from another state. Well done, David. Well done. I enjoyed the theme, decluttering. I think we all have decluttering to do. And definitely important. I heard a couple of people say how it makes you feel good when you're a little less cluttered. It makes sense. We started the meeting on time. And David, during your talk on the theme of the meeting, decluttering life, you gave some very vivid examples, and I can testify, and I definitely understand what it's like going through my parents' belongings after they both passed, and I kudos to you for, it sounds like I think you said you're the only child, and you did it all yourself, so it's a major task, and well done. Moving into my evaluation, our evaluators, Beth Banks and Phil Russell. Excellent. You used the sandwich approach for our guest. We use what we call a sandwich. In a sandwich approach, it has 3 layers. There's a layer on the top, a layer in the middle, and a layer on the bottom. The top layer is usually some type of praise or something that someone, as Dave Licata would say, someone has in their toolbox. We like to find out and give congratulations to someone that uses the tools in their toolbox, whether it's hand gestures, vocal variety, different things like that. And Beth did that. She told us what Phil did well. She gave him a good suggestion for improvement. And then she challenged him with the project that he's working on to promote AM Lockport and membership and growing a club. And Mike Florio, our second evaluator, evaluating Eric Schneider's speech. He gave praise to Eric kudos to Eric for the podcast, which was, I'm sure, a major project for him to put together. And he saluted Eric for the challenge for his cleanup project that he was working on. And he picked up some things that Eric did well and some things that he could do better. And what I would say for both Eric and Mike, Eric, especially for a longer project, definitely make it a point to get a hold of the evaluator so they know exactly what you're talking about, what you're working on to improve. That goes for anyone, really. What they're looking to improve upon, that makes the evaluator's job and the speaker's job that much, makes it easier because you're both focused. You're focused on the timing, what the objectives are, and everyone is on task that way. I know there was a little bit of, I don't want to say miscommunication, but I think we could communicate better, just everyone in general. And as far as the timing goes also, just so everything runs that much more smoothly. But both evaluators used the sandwich approach, and I appreciate everyone's participation this morning in the evaluation phase and our leadership phase with David leading us in the meeting. And at this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to the presiding officer, Beth Banks, for awards and announcements.
Oh, that was supposed to be me, but Beth can do it.
Pardon?
That was supposed to be me on the agenda, but Beth can do it.
Go ahead. We can assist as needed.
All right, well, we can announce the winners and go who's the Toastmaster for next week. So. If Bev, do you have the winners? Do we have the winners up on the lectern?
We do right here. I'll help you.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
Best table topics, Carol Ann. Carol Ann.
And best speaker, Eric.
Here you go, Eric.
Give it to me the next time I see you guys in person.
And then you're supposed to have one to like, I got it.
Sorry, don't have an extra one.
And best evaluator, Mike Florio.
Way to go, Mike. Way to go, Mike.
Okay. Yeah. All right, as presiding officer, I also would like to welcome again David Blumerick. Is there anything you would like to say about our meeting? Don't be afraid of the microphone.
Thank you. All right, well, all right. Thank you for having me again this week. I'm sorry that I wasn't here last week. I really meant to, but I had come down with something and it was a little rough, but I was excited to be back here today, and I'm looking forward to coming back next week. So thanks.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Before we choose the winner, I will say, in terms of hodgepodge, my husband finally agreed a year and a half ago to get rid of the hodgepodge that we had in our basement garage. We had to rent a dumpster. We filled said dumpster with the hodgepodge of things he had collected that he might use someday. But we did manage to get rid of because he's not going to use them. And for the winner, you guys are killing me again. I appreciate someone donating. But 10 is not the same as 11. There are 10. There's $11. Okay. Yes. Whatever. Someone donated. Someone donated. So let's see, Mary, can you come up and choose the ticket?
I guess Friday really wants it.
Okay. And the winner, the last four numbers are 546. Yes. Okay, so Dave was the winner. And I believe we can stop the recording. Right? And Dave, you have an announcement? Okay. Oh, yes. Tell me somewhere different. Meeting is adjourned.